Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. As the Northern Hemisphere is heading into autumn and into winter, I thought, well, let's take a look at the subject of sneezing. Sneezing is the semi-autonomous expulsion of air from the mouth or the nose. This is usually triggered by foreign particles that irritate the nasal mucosa. It triggers an involuntary action to clear these irritants out of the nasal cavity. In other words, it triggers a sneeze. Now, there are some potential other triggers for these. It's not just the irritants. The first, it's the sudden exposure to bright light. Now, this is a condition called photic sneeze reflex, or PSR. You may also hear this called ACHOO syndrome. I know, I love the name of that. ACHOO, this stands for autosomal dominant compulsive helio-ophthalmic outbursts of sneezing. Talk about forcing words in a sentence to match the acronym. PSR, or ACHOO, is thought to affect 18 to 35% of the human population. Sneezing, it may also be triggered by a sinus nerve stimulation, nasal congestion, even allergens. There's another rare trigger, and this is to do with the fullness of the stomach after a large meal, and that can also cause a sneeze. This, it's called snattiation, hopefully I pronounced that right, and it's a medical disorder that is passed on genetically. So why do we sneeze? As I've already said, the aim of a sneeze is to expel mucus containing foreign particles or irritants and cleanse the nasal cavity. But how does the body know it needs to do this? Generally, this happens once enough irritants have passed through the nasal cavity, or as we would better know it, the nose. These irritants, they land on the nasal mucosa, where they cause the release of histamines, and they irritate the nerve cells in the nose. These nerve cells, they send their signals to the brain, where it then triggers the sneeze through the trigeminal nerve network. This causes the pharyngeal and the tracheal muscles to create a large opening in the oral and nasal cavities. The soft palate and the palatine uvula, they depress and the back of the tongue rises to partially close the passage to the mouth. When you sneeze, the air is ejected from the lungs and is accelerated through the mouth and creates a low pressure point at the back of the nose. The powerful nature of a sneeze is due to the involvement of a large number of organs in the upper body. These include your face, your throat, and your chest muscles. If you sneeze with your mouth closed, it does expel the mucus through the nose. But it's not recommended to do this, because with the mouth closed, there's a high pressure created within the head, and that's potentially harmful. Also, we often get told, pinch your nose to try and hold in a sneeze. You shouldn't do that. The pressure created by the sneeze, it could damage the airways and the lungs if it's not able to be released through the nose and the mouth. Strangely enough, we don't sneeze when we're asleep. This is due to something called REM atonica. Again, I hope I've pronounced that right. In this state, the motor neurons, they're not stimulated and the reflex signals, they're not sent to the brain. If there are excessive irritants, a person may be brought just out of sleep so they can sneeze when they're not asleep and then they'll go straight back to sleep. Sneezing is not confined to humans. Couple of examples. African wild dogs, they use sneezing as a form of communication. Iguanas, a reptile, they're also known to sneeze. And a slight aside, something my wife's often telling me off about, you cannot control how loud you sneeze. It's thought that the loudness is due to your lung capacity, the size of your lung, and also how long you're holding your breath for. This means there is nothing you can do to turn those earth-shattering loud sneezes into the whisper-quiet ones. Another short video, another interesting one, something a bit different for me to learn here. Sneezing, it's a natural thing, isn't it? It's something we all do. And it was interesting to dig a little bit deeper into that. If you've got any suggestions for videos that you'd like me to create, please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.